Welcome to the Self Reality Podcast, a show where we like to talk all things reality, the good, the bad, the ugly. We also like to talk about how it makes us feel inside as people. I'm your host, Angie, and I'm here today to talk Amazing Race Canada Season 11, Episode 3. And here to talk about it with me and all the stuff is my brother, podcaster, great guy, Nick Hanlon. Welcome.
Hi. Hello.
He's wearing his wonderful traveling pink shirt today, so thank you for that.
My Vegas uniform.
That's right. It's your Vegas travel uniform. I'm wearing my London hoodie or sweatshirt that I actually got in Canada. So there you go.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, so we got to get it right into the episode because it was insane.
It was pretty chaotic.
I am almost glad you were unable to watch it with me. It probably took me an hour and a half to get through a 45-minute episode because I was taking notes.
Oh, really?
Well, there was just so many things going on. So I counted 8, including, driving to the pit stop, driving to the airport, the number of route info things and whatever, 8. There were 8.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Plus, there was actually a little drama. First thing, route info, they got to drive to Calgary and they take a flight to Vancouver.
One of 2 flights.
I thought it was interesting that they only had 4 people on the first flight because there's 9 left and then 5 on the second. I'm not sure. Do you remember what the discrepancy was between the flights?
Yeah, it was an hour.
That's significant.
Yeah, it's pretty significant. They're definitely an hour.
Well, that's and interestingly enough, we'll talk about it later. Some of the teams really picked up, moved up the ladder and such who were on the second flight. Okay, I didn't know it was an hour. And I think with Canadian flights, it's kind of the only way you can do it. Otherwise, it's a very regimented kind of schedule for Canadian flights. And you've got only Air Canada and WestJet. So you kind of, and, Flair and whatever. But
I think so, yeah.
So there's not a lot of airlines.
I think they're sponsored by Air Canada, I feel like.
So it's Air Canada. Okay, so Air Canada would only have 2 flights. So it's Calgary to Vancouver. And then they're told there's going to be a double U-turn. So this is where things get interesting, which is one of the reasons why I think this was such a crazy, action-packed episode.
Yeah.
And I didn't catch double U-turn until later. So double U-turn means that 2 of the team, all the teams vote for which team they want to nail with the U-turn. And whoever gets the U-turn, whatever 2 teams have to do both sides of the detour. So, there's options. Yeah.
The last challenge.
Exactly. So this is where we get to the airport and we, for the first time, see a bit of strategy. So you've got a bunch of teams talking about, of course, voting out. I call them J and J in my notes, but Jesse and Jonathan. If I'm honest, they're amazing. They're my favorite team. And they're fun and they're kicking butt and taking names. So everyone's saying Jonathan, Jesse makes sense. They've been first, 2 back to back, they're just kicking it. But what I found couple things I found interesting here. You have Grace and Joe sitting by themselves. And we'll talk about this later. I think that's
the brother sister, right?
Yeah, not a good strategy.
No, you gotta get in there.
There's double U-turn. You see a big group of people, I'd be in there like a dirty shirt. I would be in there hey guys, how's it going? Oh my God, I'm exhausted. What's it going? I'd be in there the social game.
Maybe they don't understand that part.
I don't know that they do.
Like they did.
Well, and we'll discuss that in a moment. So all the groups are J and J and whatever, except there's one team that's doesn't like kind of being told that they're all voting for Jesse and Jonathan, Ike and Dimitri's. Well, EB and Blake were telling everybody, and listen, I think it's a right strategy, but this is where the line of, you can't, it's like on Survivor. You can't be seen as dictating, but you still need to get the strategy moving, right? So I think they were maybe a little bit too forward about it. So I think some of the others, a little pushy, but it's, in honesty, it's the right decision. I would have U-turned them as well. So you have Mary and Louise have the double express pass. So this is interesting. So Jonathan and Jesse go over, and they're smart. They're like, yeah, for sure, we're going to be on the block. They go over and offer up hey guys, to Mary and Louise, if you guys give us your other express pass, we'll burn it, and you're the only ones left with one. Now they have to give it up anyway. So I see the strategy, but you really want to help the team that's just beating everyone's butts.
Yeah, I don't understand why they'd even agree to give it to them.
I don't know that was, I don't know that I would go that route. it does kind of make sense, but but then it doesn't, because these guys are really, really, really good. So anyway, that was kind of it. I thought that was all interesting. So they all get their flight to Vancouver, which I'm excited about because I love Vancouver. And the first route info, well, the second, now we're on number 2, is the Terry Fox Plaza. So they've got to go to the Terry Fox Plaza.
Another stadium.
I know they're big on. Do you know what I think is going on? And I'm going to touch on this probably later. It's very big on sponsors. Like it's very, it's
Huge.
which of course they have to make money, but I'm like,
One of the
they
stops
must.
is weird.
I know exactly which one. We'll get to it because I'm like, I'll say it when we get to
I
it.
have here, like, headed to another stadium, second stadium in this race, 3 episodes. Does Canada have such little going on that it's just stadiums?
No, but I think the
But I'd
stadiums
also
have
love to check out the Terry Fox Plaza.
exactly, and I think stadiums have the money. Like they have the money for the sponsorships, right?
Yeah, plus they got the World Cup coming.
Exactly. So that's the home of the BC Whitecaps. So they basically have all these words on a car with like they have to figure out all the red
It's like a
letters and
word jumble
unscramble it.
almost.
Yeah, it's a big word jumble. 2 of the teams are from Vancouver, so I think they have a significant advantage, right? So
Yes.
Jesse and Jonathan are both from Vancouver, so is Grace and Joe. And with the letters that come up, Langley, right? That's the word. Langley is the word. Do you remember there was a team that asked for help?
Yeah, because
Like somebody helped someone, right?
the brother sister helped.
Grace and Joe help Ika and Demetrius. That's right.
Yeah.
And then they say you owe us. So I don't know how much that that helped them because they use that favor pretty quickly. But anyway, so
Well, they needed to because they're like they got voted on the U-turn, right? I guess we
but
haven't
not
got
yet.
there
They don't
but-
know yet.
Right,
Like we're
that's
not even at the U-turn yet. And they don't even it doesn't even occur to them that they might be sort of up for the U-turn either,
No,
which
they
I
have no
think
idea.
it's like you guys like pulled yourself from last place to second place. Like people's eyes are going to be on you. You got to get in there.
Jesse and Jonathan were rather offended as well.
Which is of course they voted for you.
Yeah, like it's
You're number
obvious.
1. Like that's a no-brainer to me. Oh, they're so funny. I think they were more mad because I think they wanted Ika and Demetrius to not vote for them, and they said give it to Grace and Joe. But then it's like, yeah, but Grace and Joe helped them, so they can't, right? Like it doesn't make sense.
It wouldn't have mattered
So
because there's 2 of them anyway. They didn't think they're gonna get one of the 2.
I don't know that it was computing. It didn't compute for me at first, by the way, that it was a double U-turn and that there was going to be 2. So
I'm sure they knew. They knew though.
true. I would hope
Like I would
so.
assume.
So then so actually, interestingly, that's the only place they are in Vancouver because then they have to drive to Langley, which is 60 kilometers away.
Yeah.
To the
This is the
Martini,
stadium. Then they go to Langley.
Langley to Martini Studios, Martini Top.
I guess
Martini.
Langley's a big acting town. There's a lot of.
Is that where a lot of the movies are in TV shows?
That's what I assume because they did the acting thing. So I assume
Oh yeah.
there's a studio there, so they do a lot of acting stuff there because Vancouver's Hollywood North, right?
That's right. They stretch that one out. So they have to go. So this is number 3. So the route info is drive to Langley, and then you have to find the U-turn, and then you vote. So the votes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Jonathan and Jesse get 5 votes.
Yep.
From Grace and Joe, Ika and Demetrius, E.B. and Blake, Magoo and Nippy, and the Rebeccas. Grace and Joe get 3 from Louie and Marie, Osas and Isosa, and Lacey and Celia. And then Jonathan and Jesse, I guess it was a throwaway. They throw away their vote to Osas and Isosa. What do you think of that vote?
I mean, they're the worst, so I don't know why they would bother.
Maybe
But
that's why.
It's
because they
anybody
would,
but them.
and maybe I'm surprised. Do you know what? They're probably doing it so they don't have any blood on their hands.
That too, yeah.
Because they could have said Grace and Joe easily. And they didn't. So that's interesting. And things are starting to get tense. So the next thing is they have to learn lines. It's another memorization. So they have to learn lines and serenade one another. What did you think of this particular challenge?
I mean, I guess it goes with the acting of Langley. It'd be tough because you got to get every single word down. But it didn't seem that difficult. Like there wasn't that many lines, I don't think.
And you can't even mess up the or a.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see why.
Cowboy Mama, she had some problems.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see why you didn't like Louis at first. I think he was super rude to his mother. I mean, he's just yelling at her.
Yeah, he's getting way too frustrated. Which ain't helping anything because she had problems with the line dancing because of the memory, right?
Memory's tough, and like, listen, as a middle-aged woman, your memory, you have problems, and some people just have problems with memory. So you like yelling at her doesn't help. Try to help like come up with a rhyme for it or something, like some
The
sort of
PEI
tool.
girls did it on their first try.
Yeah, but they've done like dancing and acting and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool. And then but this is actually where they go to the side and Louis and Marie actually hand over and they hand over the express pass to Jesse and
Very
Jonathan, which
secretively.
it
And I
was.
and I guess Jesse and Jonathan said they're not even going to use it. Is that what they promised them? I guess I missed that
No,
part.
no, they said they were going to use it. They're going to burn it so that there's only one express pass left, which
Like they'll use it right away. Okay.
yeah. So the whole thought process, like, and again, it's actually a good argument. Give it to us, we'll use it. But then why would you give it to them now? Because you can hold on to it. These guys, you're going to really slow them down on having to do two sides of the detour otherwise. Anyway, I don't know. So,
Yeah, because I mean, it's pretty obvious they're going to get voted for in the U-turn. I think giving it to them,
of course.
it almost, I mean, you'll see at the end, but it almost lost it for them.
Yeah, I think so. Almost. Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. Well, because during this one, so again, Jesse and Jonathan, number one. Lacey and Celia come from last place to number two, which is killer. Ike and Demetrius, the short kings are moving up the scale too. Grace and Joe, E.B. Blake, Magoo, Nippy. You got the Rebeccas, and then last place. Louis and Marie, so that was pretty stressy. And they started that. Oh no, we're gonna see. There's too many. So that was number 4. We're halfway through. We're halfway through everything too. So then they go to the Abbotsford Center. Oh yeah, it's another, like this one's a hockey arena, home of the AHL. Oh yeah, this is the third one in 3 episodes. So they do a face-off.
Shootout.
A shootout, right? Oh yes, it's called face-off, but it's a shootout. So someone has to. And I was at first confused, like, how are they going to do this? Well, they have to compete against each other.
Yeah. My question is if they're like sitting there with only one team left, do they have to wait for another team to show up? It didn't really happen. But what if they're like last play or they're
Well,
one of the last people and they're waiting on a team? Do they have to wait for them to get there to even start the challenge?
Well, yeah, I think so.
Right?
Oh,
There's
you
got to
mean
be
if like
somebody
a
to go
team
up
was,
against.
well, the last team had to have a 10-minute penalty before they could go to the.
No, but what if you're there like super early? Obviously, you got to wait for somebody to come to face off against each other.
Yeah, then you're kind of screwed, as they would say.
There's just lots of moments in this game where it kind of brings people together. And not in like a happy, peaceful way. Like they're trying to get people in the same place, it seems like a lot of the time.
They are, and they're like getting them to, well, and having them go up against each other super. I thought that was interesting. And it's one person is a goalie, and a lot of them just kind of like laid across the net.
If you've never done it,
I guess that's the best option. Can you imagine if you've never ice skated or anything? That would be so, like, it looks like some of them have an ice.
The short kings didn't. Never. You could tell they'd never ice skated before.
But even is it Magoo? Even
the
Oilers guy could barely skate. It was very odd.
He was deking a bit, but he was not as good as I'd expect.
Louis was actually, I think, in terms of abilities, like
the best hockey
strongest
player was the Cowboy. Yeah.
Yeah, like he'd played hockey, and you could tell it was like watching Corey when we were kids. Like he's on there, like just like doing the whole.
It's just unfortunate they were there so late.
Exactly. And they went up against, were they last?
They ended up losing and had the 10-minute thing.
Oh, yeah, they lost against Magoo and Nippy. Yeah. So, right, I have it. Yeah, I have it here. I had so many notes on this thing. So, Jesse and Jonathan first, Ike and Dimitri second, Lacey and Celia are still at third, so they've done quite well. Grace and Joe, Isosa and Sosa, and EB and Blake, Rebecca's, Nippy, Magoo, and yeah, Louis and Marie last, and then they have to wait 10 minutes. Whew! So what's the next one, Nick? It's your favorite? I think the next route info is your favorite.
The glasses store. I'm like, is Vancouver famous for glasses stores?
Or
why
Abbotsford?
Is this a stop in like the Amazing Race where it's obviously it's advertising,
of course.
When you're watching, you're like, is there so little to do there that they had that at glasses store?
Of course not. There's tons to do, but
I think
that store though must have paid so much for sponsorship or something.
100%.
Because I mean, I understand the stadiums; they've got the money. Like you said, you have like the World Cup going there and stuff like that, but that did not look like some big store.
No,
that could afford the
looks kind like a kiosk at a mall. Like it was.
Yeah, and it was just so.
What's the big chain store?
Maybe. I've never heard of it. Specsavers. Well done, Specs. Hey, good advertising, Specsavers. But then it's like, it's just this weird, and it's like, what kind of competition can we have them do? And anyway, they have to like put like these giant glasses, like lenses in to spell out a word. And it was eye exam, spoiler alert. This is all spoiler alert. So I'm going to move on from this one because it was kind of like weird and a little bit,
there is a Specsavers in Upper Canada Mall.
So it's a chain. Okay,
It's a
so
big chain.
they got big
company.
cashola.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for checking. Still an odd, again, there's so much.
It seemed like an odd stop.
BC has so much. Like there's so much in these places. But anyway, so now we get to the detour. It's take a hint or plant treatment. More memorization. So the take a hint is essentially
it's either memorize or where's Waldo.
Yes. Yeah. And obviously I think I would pick plant treatment. What would you pick?
Yeah, that one for sure. It's not even close.
Because take a hint, the fact that it's like a 10,000 square foot with just crap everywhere. Like it's just endless.
I'm pretty good at junk hunting. No.
They only had 10 minutes and then they
have to figure out a clue. They don't just say, hey, find the duck. It's got to be like wings on water. Yes, it's a clue.
Figure out the clue.
It would be crazy. It's like that place we went in Vegas at once. It was probably like that, but bigger. Yes. That place was freaking huge too.
Oh my! Oh yeah. I know the place in the art district.
Yeah.
That place was crazy, and like massive. It's too much. But remember, Jesse and Jonathan and Grace and Joe have to do both sides of this challenge.
Yeah.
Well, ostensibly. So I think
Jesse and Jonathan were very sneaky about it.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So I think almost everyone chose plant treatment except for Louis and Marie, which I think saved them in the end because memorization they would not have done well in plant treatment. And I think they did okay, and like she figured out that it was a duck and they found it. Like she figured out the hint. But I think everyone else did plant treatment, and of course Grace and Joe had to do both sides. But
Jesse and Jonathan first picked the antique store.
That's right.
And thought it was too hard, so they went to the other thing, and then went back to the plant store and secretively used their express pass.
Well, let me ask you. So when that happened, so when they had to go and do it, because Grace and Joe knew that they both did, they snuck it. They snuck in, gave them the express pass, and then like kind of like jetted out and said, "Oh, that was much easier than we thought." Now, let me ask you this. Riddle me this. Why? Wouldn't you have been suspicious? Because they weren't suspicious.
They were. I mean, the one girl was like, that was really fast. I don't know. I don't remember them saying anything else about it, but if I was there, I'd be like, yeah, there's no way. Especially after trying it.
Yeah.
If I was standing there and, there's no way. Like, obviously, you'd be suspicious.
I would.
If you're not, you're stupid.
That's what I think. I think maybe they're just too trusting, maybe, or something. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what's going on. Like, anyway, that was kind of interesting because they went in, snuck in, no one knew. And then the plant treatment was they had to read a menu of like, different plants that naturally, jams and drinks and stuff. Then they had to go talk to actors who were faking to be sick, and they would tell them what's wrong with them. Then they had to go back, memorize what the concoctions were, like 3 or 4 different things, and what they treated. Like, oh, this raspberry lemonade will treat your stomach issues. And
then when you come back, you got to remember what each one does and what they're all called.
I know, isn't that would be hard. That's a tough one. I'd have to do like memorization, like training.
But there's 2 of you, so like one of you takes one half, the other takes another half, right? Like
for sure.
It seemed like the antique store only one person can go in.
Yeah, which was odd because it's not a roadblock; it's a detour. That's right.
Well, but they could take turns. So if you first 10 minutes, one goes in, next 10 minutes,
And they didn't have
still an odd way to do it.
They didn't have a roadblock this time.
Well, the roadblock will be the glasses store, I think.
No, because they both did it. There was no roadblock.
Was the first one only one of them do?
No,
that's right. They all did it that time too.
Considering there were 8 route info things.
I guess there wasn't one where only one did it.
That's odd. They had to jam it all in, Nick. They had to jam it all in. So this is the last thing, finally. And then the next place they're going is they have to drive. There's a lot of drive. They had to do a lot of driving. They had to drive 60 kilometers to Cultus Lake Adventure Park. So, not a stadium.
Part, finding out where you have to go without GPS would be the hardest part of the whole thing.
When you're starting to see people, I totally agree. And you're starting to see people very quickly go, hey, can you look at your thing on your camera? Like when they were at Vancouver and they had to go to Langley.
You can bug people with their phones,
Yeah, and just, that would be easy, Nick. Nick, you'd be wearing your pink shirt. I'd have my happy smile on.
We'd be getting some directions. I wonder if they get their phone back, like when they're in the hotel at the pit stops.
I'm curious too, like, because they don't have to really, like, they probably aren't allowed, well, they're obviously not allowed to post, but like, wouldn't they be able to check in with their families or everything? Yeah, they must. But it's, God, what would you do without a phone?
Shows you can.
That's true. Yeah.
But maybe they have their
Actually,
phone waiting in their room.
question for next one. Like iPhone, do they get them at night, right? And I'm wondering, I'd be curious to see what happens like off camera, like between them. Like do they eat dinner together? Are they just given, do they have to share hotel rooms with each other probably and they all
I
stay
would
in the same
assume, yeah.
hotel? Like that kind of thing? Like what's the after hours I'm kind of curious about. I'd be curious, right?
Do they get unlimited drinks?
Yeah, like are they drinking? Like because they don't have a lot of money.
Are they all hanging out together?
That's what I'm wondering. I don't think so because they don't seem that clicking yet, but maybe I'm
No.
wrong. But don't you think if you're having drinks together at night, you'd be like,
I don't see any clicks.
yeah, I don't see anything clicking yet. So I guess we can get to the pit stop where number one, once again, Jesse and Jonathan, and they win another trip from Expedia to Queenstown, New Zealand, at $1,000.
Yeah, they're killing it.
OMG. Like they've won like almost $50,000 so far.
Wonder if it's 50
Or
each
35,
or
maybe
how's this
35. Even if it's 5,000 each, that's pretty darn
pretty damn
good.
good.
For a trip, like, if you're already getting everything paid, so
And the Short Kings they're the worst at every challenge I've ever seen.
well they got eliminated.
I know they're last, as they should have been.
I was like, guys, and it's because they just didn't do well. But when they had them talking at the end, I did cry for them. Like I felt bad because like they tried, they just weren't, it just wasn't for them. I thought another interesting little, I wouldn't say twist, but the interesting thing is that Ike and Dimitri thought they would be first because they assumed smartly that Jonathan and Jesse, no way they'd be first. Like they have to do two challenges. I want to see if someone actually gets some sort of like hint that the express pass was already used and given. Because Louis and Marie had to use theirs anyway, didn't they? I think there's nothing in play. Like everyone just has to use their things that they win right away.
Yeah, because they used it on the
Didn't they?
glasses one.
Yeah, yeah, because they were just so yes, because they did so terribly at the acting thing. They just want and now good on them because they are second last. They are not kicking butt here. Like they are bottom of like
They
they're gonna
barely
have
made it in.
each
I mean,
leg.
when they saw the Short Kings saw them right when they were
That's
there, so
right.
they were close enough.
Those are my favorite when like you have two teams at the end and they both arrive at the same time. Like
Yeah,
I find that because super interesting. So I think that's all I have. Do you have anything else for this one? Any notes that we didn't touch on?
No, just I mean, I'm not surprised they got eliminated. They're not good at literally any challenge in this whole thing.
Or directions or yeah,
They just couldn't. No memory. No, they seemed athletic, but no. I mean, the last one, the only reason they got in is because of the sled, because they had the strength. But man,
yeah, it was just pure strength. I feel I'm surprised.
the one guy's memory is the worst.
It'd be
The
hard. The
arborist.
memory stuff would be hard, I think.
I like the episode though; it was fun. I'm excited for the next one because they're going to like the Arctic.
I am so excited. They're going like obviously to the territories or something, like or
Yeah,
like
I
some
don't
of
know if
those
it's
little islands,
Nunavut or yeah.
or maybe like the islands, like Baffin Island, like the ones above, like Northwest Territories and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this every recap we've done. Like I really, really, really want to see like the North. I want to see the territories.
Is
I'm
Yukon
always
like that?
I don't know. It could be like
Yeah,
Yukon's north. These are all north, but if you like think about the Canadian map, like you have all of those little like, or is it those little islands that I don't know what the hell they are? Do
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
excited
super
for that one. The
excited.
whole thing would probably be in the Arctic, I assume.
I hope so. I'm still a little bit sad because I wanted to see a little more of Vancouver.
The glasses shop. I mean,
It's the
what the
only
hell's going on here?
complaint. Amazing Race
And then the
Canada.
other thing they do is an antique store. I mean, is there nothing going on in Vancouver, like big stuff that we could check out and some scenes?
Like, what about Grouse Mountain or something? Or what about like
They have so much
the
bay or
city?
shoreline and stuff too. Like nothing
Yeah,
around near the ocean, nothing to do with water. I mean,
yeah.
I kind of think they wasted the stop. It was a fun episode, but we didn't see anything cool.
Well, it was fun, and this one was made for you. This one was pure ADHD. I was like, what is happening?
It was a lot.
It was again eight different things. Like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
there was a lot going on.
So anyway, they're getting lots in sponsorships. So good on you, Amazing Race Canada. That's why the price is so much higher. And
Well, I guess it's popular.
by the way, you can apply anytime right now for Amazing Race. The next one's Canada.
Oh yeah. When is the next season started? We might want to wait till the next one so I can lose some weight.
Me too. Okay, we can
I
wait.
should almost film my weight loss journey and make that part of the
I'll do mine too. And
Submission.
then it'll be like a brother and sister lost a bunch of weight.
It's a good story.
It is a good story. And you could play the tink, pink, pink music, you know? Or Eye of the Tiger.
See me on top of the stairs at Bell Aspen Square or something.
Not
or one of those
Square.
somewhere.
Like rising
Rocky.
up, back on the street. Yeah, like. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Actually, like our the first two recaps did. I mean, not like super high, but for me, pretty good. They did better than normal. So I think let's keep it up. It's a popular show. Probably not a lot of coverage on it. So thank you everyone for watching. Please go ahead, like, share, subscribe. Let us know your comments. Let us know what you think. Go check out Dirty Glass Podcast, where Nick and Denny like to drink drinks and rate them and talk all kinds of stuff. Give that a subscribe and a watch. Go on over to Nick's other podcast that he does with Matthew Barnaby. It's called Kayfabe Wrestling Talk. It's the way wrestling should be talked about. Go check them out. Those two great podcasts. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you all for watching. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.